Summertime, summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summertime, summertime. Honey, honey, solen danser, du og jeg. Hver evig eneste morgen, der går jeg i skoven.
So hi there and welcome to this week's Modern Shaman Maria in RainbowLand Astrology Report. What a lovely way to start. I just got a kiss from my partner, and here is Mooney, someone who's probably passing the gates to the other side soon. She's 105, I said it before, in man years 15, in dog years. So I thought this time I would make the report less stationary and more flexible, so you can see where I am. Actually, I'm wearing this in a second to make sure that the sound is on and that it's alright during the filming, so don't mind the cable here. Alright, so what about this week? First I have to ask you, how about last week? How was that for you? I mean, for me, I had a bunch of readings, and I discovered that I really felt how my job right now on the channel and with anyone who comes to me is to guide everyone to go towards the highest potential version of ourselves. We are light workers. If you're watching this channel, we are all on this planet responsible, but some are zombies sleeping, which with what I mean by that is that awareness is in a three-dimensional degree, so not in contact with the other dimensions or the higher self, so maybe not aware of what needs to be done, just following the old flow. But all of us who are aware enough, and if you're watching this and you haven't turned on the stop button yet to this report, you're probably having a very important role as well. And then you probably might say, oh, but how important can my role be? I just live here in this Plymouth or whatever town where I can do nothing. We can all make a difference no matter where we live. If you're on this planet and you know people and they know you, it's not about what we say, it's what we do. It's who we are, it's the energy we are. And if you follow your heart, if you follow what you came here to do, if you look more deeply into your own chart, or you can just look into your intuition, you don't need astrology to find the answers. Ask your intuition, ask your higher self, get in contact with it, find silence from the mind so that you can hear the higher mind and find out what is it that you can attribute with here on this planet to make it alter the vibration, to make a consciousness and the evolutionary path of this life alter for all of us. We need to reach a certain tipping point when we are a certain number, and it's in the 20%, 22%. I don't remember the exact percentage that some wise people have figured out, but it's not that many of us. But when we are that percentage, it will tip so that all the awareness will rise for all of us, and all the people who aren't aware will become aware. Look at this beautiful plant. This is why I wanted to make it less stationary, so we could look at nature. So the reason why I'm walking in nature here with Mooney is because today I want to take up the subject or the topic from last week. And remember, this is a collective report. Later on you'll get to your personal sign, sun sign. Either I will put them together or you need to go to your personal sign to see it. I was talking about the yin energy as I sat over here last week with Mooney. And the funny thing is that this is what we need. To refine the balance on this planet, we need that yin energy, which is also the contact with nature. It's the receiving parts of ourselves, where we don't always aggressively act and try to reinforce what we want, our will, and act to achieve. Do, but receive to achieve. to go into the flow, etc., etc. Life's so funny enough because I'm always the giver. I always give, just as I give you these reports. I give, no matter who I meet. They're like, oh, you're the giver. And I never charged anything until now for my astrology for many years, or for whatever shaman services I did. I always did it for free. But what happens? How do you survive without money? So I ended up working all the time and not gaining too much. So now I'm finally learning, as we have Uranus in Taurus, for all of us, we need to learn our self-value and to appreciate ourselves. But as I was giving, this is a yang energy. And you have to remember this, that yin and yang is not about man and woman. It's the feminine and masculine. So it's not about that the men has to be more female. No, men and women has to have the feminine side activated. Because in the Western society and culture, that is the whole problem. We don't have those sides activated. We always, like even the sexuality amongst women has been so that aggressively push up the breasts, push out the, show everything. I know that I showed some leg last week. I'm a designer, that's my excuse. No, but aggressively, I'm not saying that because I'm not necessarily that good at it either. But I'm learning, like in the relationship, the woman would also take the initiative, or the man, it would be more like push, and not so much showing emotion, showing, the receptive side. So life forced me to be receptive by giving me a sickness, because then I just had to receive. I couldn't go around giving here at a seminar where I'm at, family seminar here in Vras, Sanne, with a lot of people who meditate. I couldn't come. I had to stay out here in nature and be sick. I'm just recovering now, and I did reports, readings, even though I was sick. So what is it in your life that you can do to receive more? I was definitely forced to do it. And this week, there's so many things going on. You can't believe it. So it's so intense, and we really have an opportunity, especially in our relationships, to alter things. We have a lunar eclipse, a solar eclipse, one of the last. There's one more actually on the 21st of January in Leo, but it's almost in 0 degrees of 0 point something degrees of Leo. So this is the last where we really have the Leo energy. Last chance to make a difference in this regards of your life. Creativity wise, follow your heart, put that into action, do something for your children, make a new thing with your loved ones. But also Mercury is retrograde, so this means that it's talking, maybe understanding something from an old relationship, talking to an old lover, of discussing something in your relationships now about your children, about your lovers, or romantic partners, the one you share romantic intimacy with. With this Mercury retrograde, of course it has something to do with the past. Now the dog is going into the water, and it's actually, there are too many algae in them because of the heat here in Denmark, which has been extreme. Everything is drying out. You can see nature here is drying out. It's actually not so good. We need water. We need more feminine energy. Even here in Denmark, physically, you can feel that this land is being dried out. Look how beautiful this house is. Oh my God, I feel, when you get something like this, it's because you manifested it by believing in it. So remember quantum physics. What we think we are worthy of, what we know is possible and dare to believe is possible, we can have. Just as this, oh no, Moni, don't go into the water, please. No matter if it's me who's the owner, or if it's my partner who's the owner, or if it's the government who's the owner, whoever, whatever comes into your life, you manifest it somehow. Through good intentions, through of course also the schedule of your life, the plan, your destiny, the journey, but also daring to release whatever is blocking you from actually going, whatever kind of fear. Often it's fear-based, or not feeling deserving of, or whatever. So these are times where we need to let go of things that are blocking us from manifesting what we really want. We also have squares. We still have the Mars Uranus squares I mentioned last week. Did you feel it? Which topic was repeated that was in May as well for you, that you had to handle again? We have the Saturn Uranus trine, which is helping us. You know, the Mars-Uranus square is making us want to break free and be more independent and not be restricted by anyone. But the the Uranus Mars, the Uranus Saturn trine is helping us stabilize, ground things. It's in the earth signs. So it's helping us ground things that need stabilization in our lives in regards to our professional path, our career, and also money-wise. So it's also about our value, our self-value, because it's Uranus activated, and Uranus is going retrograde this week as well. So this is wild. So many things are happening that I hope that you guys that aren't so familiar with astrology can hang on to what I'm saying without, losing it. Because I know it's a lot of information. You'll understand little by little that we need to let go of things, we need to burn things that no longer serve us in a rapid pace, and we can do that. Have you ever heard about quantum physics, quantum healing? This is where you don't think about, I need to work with this for 10 years with the psychology, talk about this and that many times until it's able to be released. No, you can release now. You can decide, okay, I'm ready to release it now. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to break free from, because Uranus is breakthroughs, and break free, break through. But first, you have to break something down in order to be able to break out, right? So we need to go into our own little rooms, silent rooms, in order to do so. So even though you feel like escaping because a bad feeling comes up, you need to do something about it. Consciously ask for help on the other side. Ask your intuition for help. This is also the yin energy. If you're in doubt, but what can I do? I'm in this situation. Everything is so bad and blah, blah. Don't panic. You have to trust the process. I know that I'm saying this all the time. Even though you lost a job, lost a friend, lost a lover, lost the place where you stay, lost your favorite pet, you have to know when one door closes, another one opens. Trust the process and trust that you made this plan. I see that in every personal horoscope reading that I make. People made this plan. When I tune into the person and channel their higher self, it's so obvious that there's no mistakes. In astrology, there are no mistakes because it is a plan, it's a schedule. And this is what most people find it the hardest to accept, that there is a plan, that there is a schedule, because we want to be in control, but you need to let go of the need to control things if you really want to achieve what you came here for. And this is also important because we have another thing going on. We have Venus going into Libra. So this means Venus will square Saturn. So there's a Venus-Saturn square, and Venus is our relationships, is our self-worth, our value, self-value. So in relationships also, and with Saturn being the cold planet, you can feel that from your relationships, your partner may be feeling cold or distance, going on a business trip, not being there, but you have to accept it. Don't complain. It's supposed to be like that. Try to see if you can find the better, because the partner is probably also feeling the same. So if you can give some warmth, even though you are the one feeling like you need the warmth, try to give what you also want. It then will come to you, and try to be the receiver, yin energy. Again, instead of forcefully wanting it. I tried it in my relationship now, because I'm always like, whenever my partner enters a room, I'm like, oh my God, you are just so sweet, so kissable, so amazing, such an amazing heart, and being the active Aries, that's a male energy that I have. I have a lot of masculine energy. And you're like, oh, but you look feminine. No, I have a lot of masculine energy. That's why it has nothing to do with man and woman. So I tried, instead of always when he comes into a room, going to him, like hugging him, because even though we have the same horoscopes. So he's the same. So I'm never leaving room. I'm not exactly the same. He's a diplomat and I'm more like the free. We have a different ascendant, but then on top of my ascendant, he has his Mars and I have the moon on his. So, but so our face ascendant is the physical body, and the face in the world, the one that opens the door when someone knocks it and you come out before you show your actual self. But I tried to give room for the yin energy. So I tried, instead of me always saying a lot of things about how sweet, how cute he is, and I tried not just to be passive and neutral. and see what happened. Just to change my pattern, because I realized that I was actually seeking some kind of approval of that I was good enough due to some lack of self esteem or self value. I mean, just, oh, am I good? Sometimes I can doubt myself a lot because I have a lot of Virgo also, so I can tend to criticize myself a lot. So I tried, instead of seeking approval, because that's also a way of draining his energy. Maybe you can use this for something in your life, maybe you cannot. I'll share it because it feels right. And also it's a time to share your vulnerable side. It will leave room and space for others to do so. So it's a strength to share your vulnerable side. So I tried not to do these things. Be passive, let him come to see. You know, it's not that he doesn't come if I don't do it, just to see what happened. The atmosphere between us has been becoming even more sacred. Something special happened, allowing room for this yin energy. I tell you, it's working. So, of course, if you're someone who has too much yin, it can also be that you need to put some more yang into showing your yin, you know. Be active in showing this side of yourself so that you have a balance between the two. Let me see if my dog is escaping. As I'm walking here, it's funny to report like this, even though the camera is a little heavy. So basically, we also, besides from the Venus square to Saturn, we also have a Mars-Venus trine, which is very nice. So you can experience some coldness in your relationships, but in your self-awareness, your self-esteem, your self-value, but you can also feel like Mars-Venus, of course, when they are in a good contact, there's a good balance between the aggressive Mars, more yangish energy, assertive, you know, wanting to penetrate, etc. But doing it in a more soft way, and Venus allowing it in a very beautiful, receptive way. So there are also great opportunities to connect with your partner and other people in a beautiful and harmonic way. So it's actually a month, because some of these aspects are going on for the whole month. So try to be accepting of whenever, this feels wrong. Don't overreact. We actually have Mars. We have Black Moon Lilith on Tuesday. At the beginning of this report, we have Black Moon Lilith moving into Aquarius, where we'll meet up with Mars. So Mars, Black Moon Lilith conjunction, which means also a square to Uranus. So Black Moon Lilith is what we call the bitch goddess. The bitch goddess is the part of ourselves where we want to, you know, with all our deep felt emotions, to let the inner bitch come out, you know, with I love this expression, but you know, to say no, you know, with all your passion and emotion, to say no, this is not the way I want to be treated. I'm a woman, and you know, I'm not saying that I'm in favor of you just bursting out with this, because when it's in contact with Mars, of course, it can be very aggressive in its expression. So try to, you know, find room to release these parts at safe places. You know, maybe go out into nature, shout into the woods, or throw stones in the water, or do something where you don't hurt anyone by doing it. And then it's squaring Uranus. So Uranus is this, you know, observer, and the things the Black Moon Lilith is moving into the very detached and objective Aquarius, which means that it's in an Aquarius and Uranus are in their heads. So Black Moon Lilith is also getting it into the body. But it's a need to break free. It's a need to have some alone time. Maybe that can clash, you know, because Uranus wants to ground. No, Uranus doesn't, but it's in Taurus, so in the Earth sign. So it's activating this need to materialize things in a beautiful, harmonic, and, you know, a pace which is a natural rhythm where you don't force things through. You let nature do its thing in its own tempo. But with Mars retrograding, while Mercury is also retrograding, and on top of Black Moon Lilith, Mars, everything seems to take 2 to 3 more times effort to to manifest. So this, in your personal report, I will of course talk about that. So I know that this is a lot of information at the same time, but try to be patient again this week. Try to see if you can manage to stay calm, because this eclipse, we also have eclipse, as I said in the beginning, the last one in Leo almost, there's also one in January, as I said, but this eclipse will last for 6 months. So when we go into your personal sun sign, you will see in which area this applies to your sign more concretely. But of course the collective report is also what's going on in general, so it's also important to know these things. Maybe the wind is going into the camera right now. Yeah, so what else about the weekly report here? No more than that. Remember that the most important thing is not what I say, but we all have, 7.4 billion different realities. And this means that you should accept that your reality is your reality and try to get into an authentic version of yourself, but in a way where you also allow yourself to get in harmony with other people and to get in contact with your higher self. Get in contact with what you know is right and where you actually feel like this makes my vibration stronger. I feel more passionate, I feel more happy, I feel more in alignment with myself. I feel this is right, even though rationally this may not seem right. But when I do this, this makes me happy. Then you're on the right path. You can always tell if you're on the right path if it excites you in a certain way. If you feel, okay, this feels right, even though it makes me tired, even though it takes effort, but this makes me feel right, and we can all make a difference. I mean, even if you're in an environment and you're like, but I only have 3 friends, they're the only people I talk to, I only talk to people from my work, you can make a difference just there. It doesn't matter if you only affect 2 or 3 people. It doesn't matter if you get 100 likes or not. We still have the North Node in Leo. This is about showing your authentic self 100%, not about getting 100 likes. Recognition comes from within. If you want that recognition, give it to yourself by doing what makes you happy. Then in the evening before you go to sleep, you can ask yourself, why am I feeling happy today? And you will know it's because you did what your heart told you to do and what felt right for you. I hope in some way that I can inspire you to actually go in and be truthful to yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Don't give yourself lies from your past that your parents told you, this is the way it should be, or this is how, da, da, da. No, what do you feel is right? And then follow that. Follow the path of the highest excitement. There's a channeler that also says this. Follow the path of your highest excitement. And I don't mean the excitement for chips. I know someone who has that. So yeah, let's get on with the personal sun signs. Let's see if I put it after this, or if I will put it so that you have to follow the link below here, as I upload it little by little, to your personal sun sign, because of course you need to see that. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, you can always ask me if there's anything you're in doubt of. Just write in the comment section. I always want to answer, and you can also get a private reading with me. Just follow the instructions below. Denmark, Plutp, heaven, checking out. And by the way, people are dying in my life. People and animals, but my uncle just died today. People are checking out, but he needed the release. He's at the most amazing place where we go when we're no longer here. I don't fear death, because I'm certain that that's when you feel at home. But what we often fear is the loss of someone, but we never truly lose anyone. Because love will always prevail, love will always survive time and space, any dimension. Love is eternal, never dies. Vibration stays forever. So, hi there, Cancers. This is your personal sun sign, and if you are born close enough to the equator for the houses to be equal, it's also for your rising sign. But for people from Denmark, for example, or Sweden, Norway, or further down south, you know, equally as far away from the equator as us, the houses aren't equal. So it isn't 30 degrees houses. If you know a little bit about astrology, you'll know that your rising sign and ascendant, if you come from these areas, don't just match the sun sign. That's why I only say it's a sun sign horoscope. But if you know enough about astrology to know, and you come from close enough to equator that your houses are equal, you can also apply it to your ascendant. But then it's more with your physical body and how you connect to other people. Some people also apply it to the moon, but the moon is emotion, and the more emotions and the more feminine nature of us, the yin energy. So unless you know enough about astrology, not to complicate it too much, I will just say it's for the sun sign. And you have to look more deeply into it or ask for a personal consultation with me or another astrologer if you want to know if you can apply this and how to do it. So this eclipse is one of the last ones. It's the second last one in Leo. It's the last really important one in Leo. And any eclipse lasts for 6 months. So this is important for you in your financial sector, your self-worth sector, etc. And it's probably repeating something that went on 18 years ago. So if you go 18 years back, 18 to 19 years back, plus minus, you will discover that a similar topic was going on, but just maybe at another level, and you've altered yourself since then, and now is another chance to alter your life in regards to your finances, but also your self-worth. The second house is how we value ourselves and therefore also our money. I mean, for example, me, I have my own business. How much do I believe I'm worth when I'm putting a price to my services? And this is what you're going through as well. So there can be a revolution here, but as Mercury is going retrograde in this area, it has something to do with something old. Something from maybe from a past life or earlier in your life that you really need to reconsider and think deeply about how to let go of. And I just want to say that Mars is a part of, I mean, since Mars is retrograding in opposition to your sign, because it's coming into Capricorn, then anyone born in the last part of Cancer, you know, you will be affected in a more, you know, aggressive way perhaps, because it's Mars and also Black Moon Lilith in opposition to your Sun. So try to be patient if other people react, or also watch out for your own reactions during these times. But in general, it can be beneficial financially, but just remember that whenever planets are retrograde, and as we have 2 personal planets, Mercury and Mars going retrograde, it takes more effort to get things done. You'll need 3 times as much, you know, put 3 times as much energy into the things you want to achieve. So it will feel like it's more difficult and what to do, etc. But don't worry, the answers will come, because Rahu, which is the dragon's head, which is the north node of the moon, is always, which is what is in your second house, is always bringing us something, you know. Materializing something, having a gift, whatever you want to call it. So you just need to pay attention to your intuition, which is one of the strongest of the zodiac, to know what it is that you need to change, because that's also something you need to let go of. You need to perhaps practice some kind of forgiveness towards yourself and the mistakes you did in order to achieve this self-worth of yours, or forgive someone else that made you feel like you are not worthy enough. So it has something to do with finances, self-possessions and self-worth. But if it's for your rising sign, but again, this is something you can only apply if you know enough about astrology to know that your houses are more or less equally sized. Then it has also something to do with the change of your body weight, how you eat, how you store weight. because in the second house for all cancers is, or for everyone, the second house, but in this case we're talking about you guys, it's about storing things, having things, you know. It's ruled by Taurus, and if you know a Taurus, you will know that they love to store things in their garage and collect and gather things, maybe even old things, etc. So it can be storing money, possessions, resources, and also body weight if it's your ascendant. And it fits again with the houses. So since we have Mercury retrograde here, and Mercury retrograde is about structures and thinking and looking over things in order to improve them in some way, then it can also be something about rebudgeting, because it's something to do with your money, and see whatever mistakes you have made in your finances, whatever errors you can correct. And during a retrograde time with Mercury here, it can feel like your economy is a little unstable. So, yes. After the 19th, Mercury goes forward again. And this means that, of course, things will start stabilizing, or you will see, because wherever Mercury goes retrograde, any planet goes retrograde, it will pass it 3 times. As I usually show, you know, a planet moves forward in the night sky. We can also look into the sky, and then it goes retrograde and forward again. So there's this little space here that it will pass 3 times. So when Mercury moves forward, it has to pass the same spot for the 3rd time, and maybe you'll, I mean, anytime it passes, it will have a new vision upon. You know, idea about, okay, clarity will be given the 3rd time it passes, and you will perhaps find some, probably find some solutions to whatever problem you have had in this area. Oh, Cancers, isn't it lovely? This is my new home, our new home. Out here in nature, where you can hear your own heartbeat and the wind whisper in the trees. Wow. Oh, I love this. Let me make sure that everything's all right with the camera. It is. So the eclipse is on the 11th, and it lasts for 6 months, and new ideas will start flowing in about, also on a spiritual level, of how to change your self-worth. So again, just as in other weeks, I have mentioned how Jupiter is making fine aspects to Neptune, a trine between your 5th and your 9th house. It's your sister signs. So these are the awesome houses for you, good karma houses, because 5th house is good karma, you know. And what is karma? Karma is whatever we bring from past lifetimes. And Jupiter is a beneficial planet, so wherever Jupiter goes, it brings something positive to the table. And since it has something to do with good karma, it could be perhaps you winning the lottery or something like that. But since I'm not that much into only the financial astrology, or not just the financial, but since I'm into evolutionary astrology, I won't focus so much about the money, and I'm not the astrologer you call in order to know when you have to put money into the lottery or whatever. It's just that, you know, if you win money or receive something from someone, you know, a relative or whatever, like money that comes suddenly, like a windfall or something, it's always due to something good that you, I mean, money doesn't come like that, just like that. There's a reason why from a past lifetime or something like that, you know. But the 5th and the 9th house is what brings happiness into our life. 5th house is happiness, but also meaning, because the 9th house is the spiritual side of our nature, and joy, you know, meaningful joy into our life. And if you use your intuition, because the 9th house is also connecting to the intuition and broadening our minds out in nature, perhaps even, you'll be able to feel what you need to do in order to be led to the beneficial windfalls in your life. Because we always need to pay attention to the signs. We have to notice the signs in order to know when to say yes or no to an opportunities. I mean, it feels right in your heart. If it makes you, excited in a certain way, you know that it's right for you to do. Ninth house is also like gurus or mentors or, higher education or figures that can teach us something we need to teach on our journey. But fifth house is also children, creativity, love, romance, dates, new passions in your life, and you daring to take risks. And in the ninth house is is the house of inspiration, and the fifth is creativity. So have fun and travel to far places if you get the chance. I know a beautiful and amazing Cancer that actually have had the chance to live in 2 different foreign countries just within the last 4 months. So any kind of travel to foreign places, spiritual studies of higher knowledge, maybe even a new language you want to learn, intuitive insights, inspirational work, books or whatever, comments from Rumi. You can see these pictures with sayings from Rumi or something that can inspire you. Then we also have the trine between Uranus and between the 11th and the 7th house. And the 11th and the 7th house is your communicative houses, and it's relationship with others. It's relationships, could be business relationships, because it's also business. It's also the commercial houses. It can be relationships to partners. It can be relationships to friends, to larger groups of people, and therefore, with a trine like this happening in earth signs, you can manifest something good within your relationships, and you need that, Cancers, because you've had some struggles with the relationships for a while. So it will be very beneficial for you guys, this grand trine. Of course, we also have a square going on between Uranus and Mars, but goods and bads, and what seems to be good, what seems to be bad, but they say that it's an illusion, that behind it all, it is all good, because we need to trust that it's all how it's supposed to be. In the 7th house, we can also find more business partners, because the 7th house is also connections, and the 11th house is connections and networking, but the 7th house is also so maybe you'll find some new business partners, since we all have this in the 2nd house as well. Just pay attention to whoever comes into your life that feels right for you. And since, we have Saturn involved up there in your 7th house, and the 7th house being relationships, Saturn is also old people, or it can be old people, wise people, but it can also be old relationships. So someone, or old ideas, something old that you build upon, Uranus, with something new. So maybe an old friend of you connected to a new acquaintance in your group of circles, those two put together will bring you what you really need. So I wish you all the best of luck, Cancers. Now I'm gonna go in and try to make some food for this beautiful family, and you are the family sign, so I just want to let you know that I'm really trying to learn all that I can from my Jupiter in Cancer, but also from you, the skills that you have by being receptive and stop wanting to act upon getting something. I'm just open to receiving. Thanks for being the great teachers. Keep being that, because you have something to give. You are the higher priestesses that can inspire all of us with your intuitive, emotional skills. So see you next week, Cancer. Water, your sign. You move to a place with water. Isn't that amazing? So Cancer, this is just your song of the week. Instead of drawing tarot cards, I'm receiving songs often as channeling, and often there's a slight sense of humor in it. And this week I got this song. I actually had to hear it because I don't know it that well. So I had an old song, the Rubettes or something it was called. I just heard the song and I recognized some of the lyrics, and I went in and found it. So now I hope that I sing it the right way. It goes like this. Sugar baby love, sugar baby love, I didn't mean to make you blue. Bop sugar baby love, sugar baby love, I didn't mean to hurt you, or something like that. But and I'm like, what is this? Could it be all the 7th house stuff for the Cancers? But then I, like a heartbreak and all you've been through with the other sex, etc. Yeah. But then again, I was thinking like sugar mama and sugar daddy, earning money in a less, shall we say, sacred way. I mean, probably in some cultures it's sacred. But there's this new, for someone apparently old-fashioned like me, phenomenon called sugar daddies and sugar mamas, where people get money just to have sex every now and then with the same partner, some rich man or a rich woman, young people that are in school, and then they can buy the clothes they want. Strange for someone like me, but well, I shouldn't judge. I'm too romantic to fall for that one. But so it's about the ethics of how to make money, and because the money is what's in concern right now. I'm not saying that you're unethical, because you're not an unethical sign. I'm just saying that apparently this was a song that had to come through. So good luck with whatever money issue you have that you're dealing with, and that you need to solve. And good luck with all the things that are changing for you financially over the next 6 months, probably. Let's go, Mooney. Let's go and make some money. Mooney, let's make money. See ya.
Easy sliding down on me. You are now in my arms forever, all the way eternity. Set you free to be loved, oh, my love, oh, easy sliding down on me. You are now in my arms forever. All the way. Summertime, summertime. Så du er min, og jeg er vild med dig.